Hello everyone, it is Jebro. Welcome back. Hope you're well, hope you're good. Just I'm having a little bit of a chill on a Friday night. And I thought, hey, let's go and play some WIllBender, run around, talk about what we thought about the elite specializations as it's kind of coming to the end of the time. It's almost going to be like a mini stream in a way, but just talking about what I think about the elite specializations, really, and doing some gameplay, but like wandering around in PvE actually. I think there's a few things that I have really to say about kind of WIllBender, and they're kind of good things and they're okay things. They're things that are fixable. There are things that are interesting. Obviously they are things where I'm like, well, I'm not sure what they were going for. We're talking about some stuff on the Lightbringers podcast, and it's always good to talk to people about what they think and feel and what's going on in their thoughts and minds and all the stuff. But like, good lord, this kid, one of the problems is Jesus, the health. Good lord, I feel like you die so much. Well, I don't die that much. The damage is like pretty not great on WIllBender, to be fair. It's not the best at times, and it's something that I hopefully will be increased a little bit. Offhand sword is not great either. They kind of, I get what they're trying to do with it to a degree. So offhand sword is advanced strike, so quickly dash forward toward your foe and then shadow step to deliver a debilitating attack that first slows and then immobilizes your enemy. So this isn't really necessarily supposed to be a damage ability, okay? It's mostly slow and immobilized. It's only 1 second and 3 seconds of slow. So it's not massive, right? Jesus. That's easily done. Right there, that's easily done. We're actually gonna just kind of wander around and do events and stuff, but go back to it. It's kind of okay. So you're not supposed to do a massive amount of damage, and then this is vulnerability, and actually is less damage than this, which is weird. And like, I mean, that's mostly in PvP where you don't do damage with the CC. I actually can't remember in PvE if that's a similar kind of thing. I mean, this has got very, very minimal damage on it as well. This is still technically like CC, I guess. But it's very low damage abilities, and they almost kind of seem and feel just a bit kind of meh. They're just kind of meh. You know, like, cool. I mean, you know, new combo fields look good. And to be fair, like, the virtues are pretty cool. Like, you know, very graphic. That's the first virtue, rushing justice, is very slow as well. It's not like it's like this right now. If I dash up to this guy, it feels like an eternity later this fist comes out. It feels like, for how mobile the spec is, it should be a lot more, it should be a lot quicker, because otherwise, you know, you're going to be susceptible to other damage. You're kind of waiting half an hour for it to kick off before you've even got the chance of doing, you know, the damage, which is a bit not really in keeping with the spec, I feel like, actually, as well, to be honest. Mesmer double sword there. So that's a concern. Second ability, virtue, it's fine, you know, that's absolutely fine. I'm loving it. It removes conditions depending on what you've traded with it in virtues and stuff. It's okay. Crushing courage, that's not too bad as well. Obviously, you know, there's good mobility there as well. So I'm, you know, the virtues aren't too bad. The one thing is a little bit like, little bit confused about, I suppose, is the utilities. So if we go for the heal, for example, the heal's not bad. As we were talking on the podcast, there's definitely a feeling from the rest of the team of peeps that we've got on the Lightbringers, that these are, you know, a little bit weak, and my you know, they can turn the numbers up and everything else. They feel quite cool. They feel like a fighting game characters, like Street Fighter or something like that. You know, I keep bashing on about how that kick ability looks and feels like a, you know, Ryu or Ken from Street Fighter, for example. That's pretty cool. And the punch, I really like that punch, and I even just like the roll away, right? And then the riposte when you go back in, which is cool. And then low cooldown, like you can keep popping them off, like that's pretty cool depending on your traits, obviously. So trait wise, like, you know, going for things like while a virtue is active, activating another virtue reduces the initial virtue's cooldown time by its remaining duration. That's pretty cool. So you could run a ton of them. Mobile defense inflicts increased damage and heal when they hit an enemy. So that's the flames, okay, from the activated this over here, basically, this virtue. So I'm actually going to change that there and just run around with like this for a while. In PvP, one of the main issues is specifically like damage. Like doing enough damage to warrant being so mobile and so squishy, right? So in PvE, as you're running around, like it's not too bad because PvE isn't difficult. Like, you know, you don't have to worry too much about that kind of stuff. And if you die, you're kind of like, oh, I'm just gonna respawn. It doesn't really matter. PvP has got a little bit more of like, you know, it's gonna suck because you're obviously versus players and there's a little bit more on the line. Raining and stuff also, that is kind of, you know, the problem as well. Look how much damage you take. I blocked that as well. That's actually not too bad, the block heal. But now, Jesus, there's a lot of death right there. But like you get stuck once and there's a lot of animations that you can't unlock. And like, so if like I'm in this whirling light, for example, I can't just randomly spin out of it. I have to do it at the end. And it would feel like good if you could actually interrupt some of those lock abilities that you get locked into. I can understand what they're trying to do. Like, you know, you should, if you're going to use an ability like that, you should be able to just kind of, you should be punished if you don't use it in the correct way, right? But at the same time, I'm like, this class is kind of a mobile, just, you know, jumping in, jumping out kind of class. If I want to kind of suddenly be doing this and then going like, you know, using that third virtue and then obviously, you know, popping into the WIllBender flames and the activate, like the justice. I'm talking about justice resolve. You can tell it's late, can't you? I should be able to do that. I feel like there should be a little bit more fluidity between those skills. I also feel like there should be some kind of link between the utilities and the virtues for some reason, because in with the two other elite specs as well, you get this connection between the elixirs on Harbinger, which give you blight, right? And then your shroud, where you do or your abilities, like, you know, doing more damage in shroud when you've got for like poison or power damage in the top line of Harbinger. Whereas in this, there's not really any connection with your virtues at all. In fact, these just feel very much just like the physical skills of warrior, and not many, you know, just don't feel very impactful or like they're fun, I guess. Like the spinning kick and the punch is kind of fun, and the, you know, doing that and the riposte back in, you know, they're fun abilities, but they don't feel like they're going to be the things which are used, you know, as well. There's this heel kick crack, which is quite fun as well. That's good and that's fun in PvP. But otherwise, I'm just like, it's kind of fun to run around in all honesty. Like I said, you know, this is just like, let's go and have a look. I haven't really run around in PvE much, so, you know, this is actually quite cool. I'm to get to do this now as well. Don't wait for me, please. I'm gonna get wrecked, aren't I? It's already bad enough running around alone on my normal specs in this, let alone flipping with WIllBender with 12.2 HP. Oh, this is gonna be my death. Why am I doing this? Let's go. Let's fire around. All right, let's see what we can do. I'm gonna die like very quickly, especially if I jump in versus two champs. No, that's not happening. That's not happening. All right. Let's go. See how much damage we're going to be doing. Go on, I'll block that. Oh, he's got his buddy involved. Actually, that was not too bad. Where's my mate gone? Oh, no! Yep, that's me done. That was a one-shot, dude. That was a one-shot. Right, we're not going here. My mate left. He's just like, no. I'm not even going to bother with this. That guy just went and just left straight away. Not having it. But like, I'm not really paying attention to what's going on the screen in terms of ability, like, you know, the things. But let's see what we can make here. Let's make something else, you know. I mean, you don't necessarily have to go for like full-on damage. You can go with like different gear as well. For example, we're actually going with power, precision, and ferocity here. We can go like marauders, for example. You can even go for like condi damage if you want it. I don't think I've got anything with condi damage spec'd specifically, but I could do. We'll just go with we'll go with marauder actually and just gain some more HP. Not much HP, but we'll gain some more. Marauder's pretty respectable. Give ourselves a little bit of HP. Guardian's not about HP anyway. And then we've got the Scholar runes there as well. No, Verdant Brink is not about surviving, that's for sure. But you know, combining this build more so things like renewed focus, so you can get the refresh of your virtues a little bit more, going for things like things that are going to help you a little bit, you know, like getting some kind of consecration in there, maybe some shouts, maybe, you know, just going for Bane Signet to give you extra power is pretty cool. Getting some kind of stun break is always good. Big condition removal, depending on which PvE content you're doing, and just like, you know, whatever heal you want to go for. To be honest, like things probably Shelter or Litany of Wrath is probably going to be better than the elite spec heal, which is a little bit, you know, bumming me out with how kind of not great it is, because there's like this small window of where you can use it, and that's fine, you know. I guess versus PvE mobs it's not too bad, but like you've got to then block something to heal, and it feels like really, I mean, I guess it's like, you know, you're going in and out, but you're supposed to be evasive. Like having a block heal feels weird. Feels like the opposite of what you should be doing, you know. Whereas Thief is like, and it sounds like you're supposed to be kind of like this Thief slash, you know, character with all the mobility skills and everything else, whereas your heal is like a block, and it's like Thief heals are like, you know, dodge away heal, you know, there's a stealth heal, do you know what I mean? It's like they're not like the block from the guard, like from WIllBender is it feels a bit off and weird, but you know, I mean, I guess that's the thing. These shoulder pads look great, by the way. I really need to make this character. But I really do like, you know, the spinning kick. I like some of these abilities. I just wonder how you're all feeling about it. Now with greatsword as well, it's been great fun. I'm definitely like kind of excited about having the greatsword with it. The hammer's quite fun as well, to be honest. I played that in PvP quite a lot. Just having fun with that. First game coming out, I'm not sure if it's gonna the video's releasing with or with this or not, but that was a lot of fun. It's pretty late at night at the moment, so that's why there's not many people on the map, but I'm just kind of giving you my thoughts. The trait line feels as well a bit, it's not that exciting, you know. There's like, you gain concentration, but any boons you apply to allies have a reduced duration. Your toughness is reduced, but you gain the same amount in power. Okay, outgoing healing potency is reduced, but healing power is increased. Like, okay, cool. I mean, I know it's the first line, but still. While a virtue is active, activating another virtue reduces the initial virtue's cooldown. Like, these are all very matter of fact, just things you get. Like, you know, inflict increased damage and heal when you when they hit an enemy with WIllBender flames. A little bit more, you know, I have to do this thing to get this thing, you know, to heal, etc. Activating courage grants protection, resolution. Shadow stepping grants resistance. You know, that's not bad, and that kind of goes with virtues as well, and you can get some stability off of that as well. And in addition, and I kind of like lethal tempo, but you just need more damage with Tyrant's momentum. So lethal tempo grants increased damage, but has reduced duration. And justice duration is modified, like more damage in a short amount of time, encouraging you to do kind of more assassin kind of, like, you know, work versus targets, PvP, whether or not it's PvP, you know, PvE as well, I guess. And then alacrity and regeneration when resolves effects triggers is odd. I'm still not sure what that's. This is at least, you know, this feels like this is just like boons. Gain alacrity and regeneration when resolves effect triggers, but you no longer heal, which is dodgy. I wouldn't take that in coordination with that. Probably I'm trying to survive a little bit more where I can, I guess. It seems like an odd trait. I know it's you're risking your heal to get alacrity, but you get regeneration, so it's weird. So you still get some kind of heal out of it. You get a little bit of regeneration. It just feels like you should get alacrity and maybe like a ton of might or something. Like, just go ham. Give the things, like, don't be half in, half out, which is kind of what this spec is like. Actually, that's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it the half in, half out spec. That's exactly what I'm going to call it. Because it feels like, that sounds weird, it does feel like that. Whereas like Deathless Courage is like killing a foe extends the duration of courage up to the maximum duration. You cannot be downed while courage is active. Courage no longer grants Aegis and its initial duration is reduced. So like that, while that duration's up, boom, you're not gonna die. And that's pretty fun. Like, I think they said they were like, I've still got to really test this properly. I've kind of tested it a bit in PvP. But that's fun, you know, like keep on living. I mean, I'm just gonna use that, aren't I? Let's just use that and see how it goes. And just run into some fights and get wrecked. But yeah, I mean, there's some interesting stuff for sure, and there's some of the physical abilities are quite cool. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how it stacks up with the other elite specializations, because there is definitely some disconnect with these for sure. Like Virtuoso I've barely played, and it's not just because it's Mesmer, but it's because I'm not really. Well, maybe it is a little bit to do with Mesmer, but it's like, it's not really my jam, man. And Harbinger is definitely the one I've connected with the most, and it's the most fun running around. And a lot of people said they find the elixirs boring and like they don't do much, but I'm an engineer player, and actually Creef says something interesting today, and I haven't really thought about that much. Creef has got a great YouTube channel and is on the Lightbringers podcast quite a lot. It talks about how elixirs with engineers kind of do something, whereas with Necro they don't really do that much. They kind of just do boons and blight, which is like, and blight is kind of odd in Harbinger because it's like, it's just this effect which makes you do more damage, and that's it, really. I mean, and it reduces your health, so it kind of sucks, and it also kind of doesn't. So it's like, it's just odd. It's just, again, it's just like this weird disconnect, and also it's like, what's that got to do with a Harbinger as well? Like the theme of it is feels disconnected, and that's what, you know, that's kind of what WIllBender feels like as well. Like we kind of, and Boots World of Enders made a point today about talking about, you know, them bending the will of their enemies, and also it's like, well, I mean, these people, they're supposed to be like, you know, defending the whoever they're employed by, you know, whether or not this is Emperor or whatever. But like, you know, law, I'm a bit rubbish on the law side of things, but I'm just thinking about, you know, they are the right hand to the throne or whatever, you know, do you know what I mean? And they kind of get the information when they need to get it, and they bend the will of their, I think Boots was saying like torturers and stuff like that. I was like, Jesus, this is a flipping Guardian, what the hell? So I'm a little bit like confused, and hopefully we'll find out a little bit more about maybe the law side of it as well, which we did during the live stream. I have a tendency to just focus on the abilities a lot of the time. But I feel like that might help a little bit. But you know, I play PvP, so it's like, where is it going to fit in there? And in all honesty, I've been playing meditations. I mean, if we have a look at PvP spec, I'm not sure if this is going to work that well, because sometimes this is a bit odd. Let's see how well this goes when we jump back in. It's not save my build. It's really random how like the beta builds don't save, because this used to be like it did used to be separated, I think, back when they did these betas before. But like I had a build in here, and it was definitely more meditation-y. Like I went for, I tried Radiance, I tried some other stuff, but I had to use other abilities to try and heal, you know. Like I wanted to try things like going for Zeal and going for some more damage there, but I just found myself dying even more. Like going for burning here as well, trying a burning build was like something. But then I was like, if you're not going to go for virtues, like it seems weird to not go for virtues. Why would I not go for virtues? And then I was like, Valor, if you think about the DPS build in PvP, you think about, you know, meditations, and then you're like, okay, well, meditations I definitely need the heal. And if I'm going to go into meditations, I should definitely get maybe the, you know, Condi removed, because I'm going to need condition removal, and I'm going to need to probably take a port. And then you're like, oh, I've got one ability left. Do I go for, like, you know, what do I go for? Do I go for the kick? I go for the kick for fun, and I stay with renewed focus, which is a meditation. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 meditations. I've got 1 utility from WIllBender, and then I'm wondering, why am I going WIllBender at all when I could just go Dragon Hunter, or I could go for Core Guardian, another trait, go for one of the damage traits, which gives me the damage that I want to have. Now numbers can be adjusted, of course, and that's fine, and that's basically what this needs. This needs to have its damage increased. The offhand sword probably the same. The actual abilities like are fine, like maybe just take the damage off this and then put it on to Executioner's Calling with the vulnerability. So add the vulnerability stacks and then bang, have a big hit, because like sword, I guess like Zealot's defense and the autos from this, as well as the Fury, could be a really deadly assassin kind of combo. And I actually feel like to a degree the sword offhand as well, like with Thief, if they're going to go that way, change that ability up, maybe increase the damage or something, depending on if it's with offhand sword. If whatever combo there is with like their main weapon, do the Thief thing, you know. If it's a scepter, change that third ability. If it's you know, a sword, change that third ability, you know. It's not many, change the, you know, if it's a mace, change that third ability, make it something, you know, more assassin-y, or make it so that even it just changes with only a couple of assassin-like weapons, I suppose. Because I feel like that would be a really cool, I don't know, just a cool addition, something else to add to everything that's going on, and just, I don't know, it just kind of be fun, and just kind of meld it in with the rest of the skills and kind of make it a little bit more fluid, which I feel would be awesome, because there is fluidity between the offhand sword and like the virtues. I feel like the utilities are kind of missing, and the elite, I don't mind, but like, why would I use that? There's no reason I would use that in PvP other than to, if just like bomb people, and then at the same time you don't, what are you doing? You're slamming the ground, knocking down your targeted foe. Foes that aren't targeted are knocked back instead, which is really, really good for knocking people down if you want to interrupt a stomp, but I've got to port there first. So you've got to go, you know, you've kind of got to use this third virtue, and then like use your elite. Sorry, I messed up then. And then use your elite. Or you can, you know, jump in with your second virtue, but you know, you travel, but you're not traveling that far. You got to use like a combination. You could possibly use your 5th skill on the sword to just do this one elite that might hit just in time. It's very risky, but I don't know how rewarding that is as well. It feels a bit odd. Again, it's like it feels a little bit disconnected. Like I feel like this could have charges. I feel like this should be almost like a judge's intervention with the Heaven's Palm. I mean, we can try that in a second, and then that's 2 big abilities used at the same time as well. It's very, very interesting. I have enjoyed playing it. I definitely have enjoyed playing it, and I look forward to playing it in the last beta weekend when everything is kind of played together at the same time. I like how these 2 look like they're both trying out the things as well. Harbinger pistol. But at the same time, I'm like, there's definitely some disconnects here for sure. I'm hoping that I can just do this first. If I can just port during this elite, I'm just going to try it. I've not really tried it much actually. It could be fun. We'll try it during the stream as well. But we'll start with the palm and then go as we hit in the air. And you can, you know. Again, but it's because it's CC, there's no damage. Like there's 5 damage there, you know. So the big thing is, and then like the cooldown, not the worst. It's not too long, I guess. 25 seconds. That's actually not too bad. And you look in there like at the sword damage, like that doesn't feel too bad, but I'm squishy. And wait a minute, what have I got on here? I've got sages on here. I'm not even sure why actually. Oh no, there we go. That stuck before. If I go for demolish or something, go for some toughness, and I'm probably just gonna go for like leadership here because, you know, that's an easy one to take with boons and whatnot. Just ignore the poison, all this stuff. We'd probably go for like intel here with energy. And probably like vulnerability stacking as well. Probably go like something like, I don't know, you could go for opportunity if you really wanted to, but probably something like exposure and energy as well to just, oh no, exposure's there. Let's get rid of that. Go for exposure with this one. That's what I would probably go for. Something around that anyway. But like, that's the kind of build I'd go for, you know. But like here, I'd be going defense. Like I go meditations, cure and heal you, but they give you fury as well. So that is a bit of offense. You get toughness, and obviously meditation skills heal you as well. And we're back down to 12k HP with that toughness. And then it's like, well, that feels bad. We should probably not go for that. Maybe we'll go for Marauder, chuck ourselves up to 1700, or stick down to 12k, or go for something like Paladin, and then, you know, you've got a bit of toughness, you got a bit of vitality, power and precision. That might be your rune right there, you know, your amulet, sorry. So it's like having enough evades and having enough and having the skills that put you in and out of fights quickly, so you're not stuck like in that, for example, or, you know, the heaven's palm as well, to a point where it's going to screw you over. Sorry, I did that wrong. You can actually see, you can actually cancel that. That's quite cool. I actually really like that you can do that. You can actually do that even just by moving, because you can't actually. I like that. I like that you can interrupt that one. So I'm kind of wondering why you can't do that with this. Like you just can't do it with the kick. With whirling light, it's weird. I feel like you should be able to do that with all of them. In fact, interesting. Sunbreak's okay, but it doesn't get you very far away. I also feel like that could be a lot better. Like you kind of, the spin away is like this little. It looks like what's the ability? Oh, I think it's like sword free or something on Ranger. I can't remember which class it is, but there's like a little. You could basically, it's supposed to be like a retreat, so you turn, but you basically do that, use the skill, and then you keep going because you get a little bit of swiftness. I can't remember what class it is. Someone point it out. It could be something like that, but a little bit quicker. Maybe like add. There is swiftness there, but maybe super speed as well, like for a little bit. I don't know, and have some super speed in the build for some reason. I don't know, that seems weird. But maybe do it something else. So like you've got the second virtue. Maybe this could be the opposite of that and go back a little, like the same, or like port you back or jumps you backwards. Because I kind of like how you've got that bigger leap on Virtue of Resolve. I feel like there could be some more like kind of leaps maybe, but maybe you've got enough with, you know, the Virtue as well. Maybe they don't want to give you too many of those kinds of skills. And then, you know, I actually feel like that could have been comboed up with some nice damage as well. Like, you know, these skills feel like they should be, they haven't really got much of a passive bonus, I guess, to a degree. So like maybe make these more offensive, because even though this is like I mean, I know that creating a ring of fire, right, could be cool to just have, I don't know, just some more damage in these virtues as well, like while they're kind of going off. Like the first one, I think that's fine, but like the timing needs to be a little bit better. The punch needs to be a lot quicker. Let's see how much that does. It's not big. It's not big. The burning and everything else combined. Maybe later. Maybe it will get better, and numbers can always be improved. But I don't know. I'm just rambling. I'm actually just saying random stuff and just talking. And I thought I would try this, and I just wondered what you thought as well of the WIllBender. And if you actually liked me doing this, I just walked around in PvE and walked around in PvP, kind of hitting stuff, talking about abilities. Again, like sometimes when it comes to balance and that kind of stuff, I just kind of say how I feel, and maybe there's different ways of buffing stuff and that I've not thought about. And that's fair enough, because I haven't played it as much as I've played like the Necro, the Harbinger, but like I'm going to do it for that in a moment as well. But like, tell me if you enjoyed this. Like, well, how did you play it? Well, did you play a burning build? I played a burning build in PvP and it's kind of fun. Did you enjoy just playing the classes? Tell me how you feel. Tell me if you enjoyed this. Tell me if you just thought it was a bit rubbish as well, and that's absolutely fine. I know people like to put thumbs up on videos like this sometimes, and even on mine, so I would really appreciate some feedback. In all honesty, your feedback will not be me. My comments on your feedback, critical feedback, will be polite, and also just me trying to take some advice from you as someone who watches videos on my channel, and I really appreciate that you take the time to comment at all. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you want to check out the Patreon, you can do that as well. You can subscribe to the $5 tier and get some of these videos a little bit earlier than the other peeps on the channel. Also come and join me on twitch.tv/JebroUnity as well for Twitch content. We're doing loads of Guild Wars 2 as well as other MMORPGs. And yeah, check out the Twitter, all the social medias. It's all in the description below. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Have a good rest of your day, whatever it is, and hopefully you've enjoyed the first Elite Specialization beta. Tell me all the things that you've enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.